For years, these villages were framed as quiet postcards, frozen roofs, muted streets, winter set pieces without a past. A pretty silence, a soft blur of snow and lantern light. Few ever looked beyond the surface, but follow the winter ridge, the old spine of Europe, and the story shifts. Here, mountains once marked borders and lifelines. Forests sheltered wanderers through wars and wanderings. Rivers carved paths where merchants and memories passed. Nature rises in white and iron, breaking every simple idea of what a Christmas village is meant to be. Beneath that ridge, life moves with a gentle pulse. The crackle of wood in early dawn, the shimmer of frost drifting off alpine pines, footsteps softened by fresh snow, a bell echoing somewhere between homes. The cold air tastes metallic, ancient, as if the land itself is breathing. And in that breath, a reminder of why these places endure. Rovaniemi, at the very edge of the Arctic Circle. Rovaniemi is where wonder and wilderness meet, inviting travelers to seek both magic and meaning within the endless northern light. Snow-blanketed pines stretch on around this Finnish town, where rooftops peak above drifts, and the Kemi River carves a silent path under thick ice, all illuminated by ribbons of green and violet auroras rippling across the night sky. Destroyed almost entirely during the Second World War and rebuilt with careful purpose, Rovaniemi became the administrative heart of Lapland. And in the decades since, it has embraced its new legacy as the official hometown of Santa Claus, drawing visitors from across the globe. Standing here, with each breath crisp and sharp, you can feel both the weight of loss and the resilience of hope, an enduring spirit shaped by fire and frost. The town lives between extremes, darkness and dazzling light, deep traditions, and the irresistible pull of modern curiosity. And in that restless twilight, it quietly reminds us how places on the edge can become centers of belonging and imagination for the world beyond. Leavenworth. In the shadow of the Cascade Mountains, Leavenworth invites travelers to step into a world where alpine tradition meets Pacific Northwest spirit. Timber-framed chalets line streets dusted with pine needles, and, in winter, a hush of snow. The town's Bavarian facades stand out brightly against the wild forests of central Washington, United States. Once a struggling logging town, Leavenworth was reinvented in the 1960s by residents who transformed its entire appearance, adopting Bavarian themes down to street signs and festivals, all to revive the local economy. There's a gentle joy in watching visitors savor pretzels beneath flower boxes, laughter echoing where sawmills once dominated. Here, the old and the new mingle. Echoes of Bavarian folklore drift beside the rugged, untamed American landscape. In places like this, culture can be both borrowed and authentically lived, inviting us to wonder what pieces of the world we choose to carry and why. Mont Tremblant, a meeting point between wildness and welcome, Mont Tremblant stands as an emblem of the Laurentian Mountains' enduring spirit. Blanketed by groves of fiery maple and evergreen, the small resort town in Quebec, Canada, shimmers beneath a sky that often glows gold at sunset. Its wooden chalets nestled above crystal-clear lakes and winding trails. Once a homeland for Algonquin peoples long before French settlers arrived in the 17th century, Tremblant's Mountain, rising more than 2,000 feet, or about 600 meters, became a ski haven in the 1930s, shaping the region's culture through both recreation and resilience. Here, laughter drifts from bustling cafes as mist curls over the peaks, and each season rewrites the land in living color, inviting reflection. Mont Tremblant is both a retreat and a challenge. Behind the comforting bustle, the ancient forest's quiet calls to something deep within us. In landscapes that soothe and inspire, we are gently reminded of how nature's grandeur can echo far beyond any single journey. Rothenburg of der Taube, time lingers here, woven into every timbered arch and cobblestone path, embodying the delicate wonder of medieval endurance. Warm golden sunlight paints the gingerbread rooftops of this Bavarian hilltop town in Germany as narrow streets wind through crenellated towers and quiet squares perfumed by blooming geraniums. Founded over 9 centuries ago, Rothenburg blossomed into a thriving, free imperial city, surviving wars, plagues, and the slow march of modernity. Its ancient walls stretch more than 1 mile, or nearly 1.5 kilometers, and shielded its heart through turbulent centuries. To walk these alleys is to glimpse the lives once lived behind crooked doorways, to feel a gentle yearning for a world both impossibly distant yet stubbornly alive. This is a place balanced between cherished preservation and gentle transformation, where every dusk holds the quiet promise of both nostalgia and renewal. In Rothenburg, we sense not just what has been, but what continues to matter when time itself slows to watch. Hallstatt, an ancient village where timeless beauty seems woven into every season's breath. Mist drifts above slate rooftops beside the gentle ripples of Lake Hallstatt, as the pastel houses of Upper Austria crowd the narrow lakeshore, their reflections trembling softly in the early light. Human presence here stretches back more than 7,000 years, and by the Iron Age, Hallstatt had become the center of a flourishing salt mining culture whose influence reached across all of Europe. There is a quiet humility in the way these mountains seem to cradle the village, inviting travelers to pause and listen for echoes of the lives that shaped its winding lanes. Yet for all its postcard calm, Hallstatt is a place of contrasts, a legacy of hard labor mirrored by serene alpine tranquility. In places like this, ancient and modern worlds blur, and the meaning of home stretches far beyond time or geography. Bressanone. Here, the meaning of borderland unfolds in gentle harmony, where Italian warmth brushes against the quiet resolve of the Alps. Along the cobbled lanes of this small city in South Tyrol, Italy, pastel townhouses huddle beneath the ornate twin-spired cathedral, their ancient facades reflecting the soft golden light that seeps down from snowy ridges towering nearly 3,000 feet, or about 900 meters, above. First settled during Roman times, Bressanone, also known in German as Brixen, grew for centuries as a spiritual and cultural waypoint, its bishopric weaving together Tyrolean and Mediterranean influences through centuries of shifting borders. Standing at the heart of the old town, you sense how the air carries a touch of both crisp mountain clarity and the gentle aroma of mulled wine, inviting reflection on the endurance of identity over time. Here, past and present coexist quietly. Church bells mix with laughter from cafes, and signs shift seamlessly between Italian and German, layering tradition with transformation. In this tranquil meeting place between worlds, you begin to wonder how history and landscape continue to shape the quiet resilience of communities across the continents. Macadenville. Sometimes called Christmastown, USA, this village is a living testament to the warmth that communities can create together. Along its streets in North Carolina, millions of tiny lights drape homes, churches, and the old mills, casting a soft glow that dances over the surface of the South Fork Catawba River each December night. The tradition began in the 1950s, when a handful of residents wove strands of color through their yards, growing over the decades into a spectacle now attracting visitors from hundreds of miles away, spanning more than 1.5 miles, or about 2.5 kilometers, through the heart of town. There is a gentle pride here, shimmering quietly beneath the cheerful crowd, a sense of belonging that seems to defy the years and reconnect people with simpler joys. Brightness in Macadenville coexists with the hush of winter and memory, as tradition meets the fleeting present under the glow of each bulb and the hush of cold air. It leaves you pondering how shared wonder can turn even the smallest corners of the world into places of lasting magic. Valkenburg, in this hillside, Dutch town, time lingers in limestone shadows and gentle echoes of the past. Narrow streets wind through Valkenburg in Limburg province, the Netherlands, flanked by honey-hued buildings and crowned with the ruins of an ancient castle that overlook a landscape of rolling green. Built in the 12th century, the Valkenburg Castle stood for more than 400 years atop a hill rising over 200 feet, or roughly 60 meters, before being reduced to haunting stone remnants by siege and centuries of weather. Here, a quiet sense of resilience endures as ivy creeps gently over weathered walls and locals savor traditions beneath soft northern skies. Above ground, sunlight paints cheerful terraces, while beneath, a network of milestone caves reminds us of the town's layered secrets. Even in ruins, Valkenburg stands as both memory and invitation, a reminder that the traces of the past have stories yet to tell in every quiet corner of the world. Aarhus in Denmark's central Jutland, Aarhus unfolds as a living dialogue between old and new, where tradition is quietly stitched into the fabric of innovation. Along peaceful waterfronts and gently curving streets, half-timbered houses lean beside modern wood and glass structures, their reflections mingling in the mellow light that spills across the bustling heart of the city. Once a Viking settlement, more than 1,000 years ago, Aarhus has grown from a trading harbour into Denmark's second-largest city, with traces of ancient craft still visible at the open-air museum of Den Gamle By and the silent presence of Aarhus Cathedral rising above town, its spire reaching nearly 300 feet, or about 90 meters, into the northern sky. Here, history feels quietly at ease beside the pulse of contemporary life, a gentle invitation for anyone to belong. Yet beneath the friendly, energetic rhythm lies a subtle contrast, the old city whispering stories while the new surges forward, each era unsure where the next step will lead. In Aarhus, curiosity and continuity flow side by side, leaving the future as open as the broad Danish horizon. Sigishwara, a living tapestry of medieval heritage, this fortified hilltop town invites visitors to step quietly between present and past. In Mureș County, Romania, slender cobblestone streets wind beneath pastel facades and steep red roofs as the ancient clock tower, reaching nearly 210 feet, or about 64 meters, anchors the skyline with stoic charm. Founded in the 12th century by Saxon settlers, Sigishwara has watched over Transylvania for more than 8 centuries, its walls surviving sieges, empires, and the silent tides of time. Here, the soft clang of a blacksmith's hammer echoes against autumn mist, and the glow of lantern light makes the stone alleys feel both inviting and slightly haunted. Life pulses in quiet rhythms, a gentle contrast between medieval silence and the subtle presence of modern travelers. Sigashora's enduring spirit lingers in the cool evening air, reminding us that every journey traces threads through memory, myth, and the universal search for belonging. Bath, a city shaped by water and time. Bath carries the soul of centuries in every cobblestone and vapor rising from its ancient springs. Pale, honey-colored limestone buildings curve gracefully along the banks of the River Avon, glowing under the soft Somerset light in southwest England, while scents of mineral water linger beside the grand Roman baths. The Romans first constructed their bathing complex here nearly 2,000 years ago, channeling hot springs that still flow today, each day producing over 260,000 gallons, or about 1 million liters, of naturally heated water. Walking these streets brings a subtle awareness of human longing for sanctuary and renewal, echoing across generations. Bath blends ritual and relaxation, heritage and modern routine, where the pleasure of stillness and the rush of history intermingle. In places where water reshapes both stone and spirit, we're reminded that every city holds layers waiting to be gently uncovered. Woodstock. At its heart, Woodstock is a gentle conversation between nature and tradition, where stories are quietly preserved in painted clapboard and covered bridges. In this small Vermont town, tucked among rolling green hills and maple groves, sunlight dapples through century-old trees onto streets that curve past charming farmhouses and the softly flowing Ottauquechee River. Settled in the late 1700s, Woodstock once thrived as a stagecoach stop and later became a symbol of rural rejuvenation when the Rockefeller family invested in conservation and restored its historic core, shaping the village as a model for preservation in the United States. There is a quiet comfort here. Every autumn, the air is laced with wood smoke and the sweet scent of fallen leaves, echoing a nostalgia that feels both universal and deeply rooted. Yet behind the tranquil facades and picturesque landscapes lies a subtle tension between a slower past and the gentle hum of tourism, between preservation and change. In Woodstock, one is reminded that the most beautiful places often hold both memory and possibility, inviting each visitor to linger a little longer and consider the rhythms of their own journey. Taos, in the high desert of the American Southwest, Taos speaks in whispers of resilience and vision. Warm adobe walls glow beneath a sapphire sky, while the ancient peaks of northern New Mexico cradle the town in silent watchfulness. For more than 1,000 years, Taos Pueblo has stood nearly unchanged, its multi-storied dwellings rising in earthen tiers, a living history recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and continuing home to the Tiwa people. Here, beauty and hardship intertwine. Wide, sunlit plazas give way to winter snows, and the creative pulse of artists meets the deep-rooted traditions of those who were here long before. There's a tension between past and present, solitude and the magnetism that draws newcomers searching for light, meaning, and belonging. In Taos, the story is not fixed. It drifts on the desert wind, carrying questions of how cultures and landscapes shape the soul. Shirakawa-go, in this mountain village, the true meaning of resilience is woven into every thatched roof and winding lane. Nestled deep in the Gifu prefecture of central Japan, Shirakawa-go greets each season with quiet grace. Its iconic Gashozuku-kuri farmhouses huddled beneath snowy peaks or surrounded by fields of green, their steep roofs rising like hands in prayer against the sky. For centuries, villagers here have battled heavy winter snows, sometimes more than 6.5 feet or 2 meters deep, designing their homes to survive both cold and time itself, a practice now preserved as a UNESCO World Heritage tradition. Walking softly on ancient paths, one feels a gentle humility, as if invited to hear the whispered stories of generations who lived in quiet harmony with the land. There is an enduring stillness here, a gentle tension between hardship and welcome, where age-old customs meet the curious footsteps of travelers from every part of the globe. Perhaps in the silent watchfulness of these sloped rooftops, we glimpse what it means to remain rooted even as the world slowly changes around us. Gengenbach. At the heart of the Black Forest, Gengenbach stands as a testament to enduring charm and peaceful resilience. Cobbled streets weave beneath pastel timber-framed houses, their steep roofs framing the skyline of this small town in Baden-Württemberg, Germany, where the air carries scents of freshly baked bread and blooming geraniums spill from every window box. For centuries, Gengenbach was a fortified medieval hub, its ancient town gates and remnants of old city walls recalling a past shaped by both monastic devotion and the bustling trade routes of the Kinzig Valley. Wanderers here often feel suspended in time, soothed by the slow rhythm of bells and gentle laughter echoing from quiet squares. Yet beneath the fairy tale surface lies a gentle tension between preservation and change, where history anchors the present, even as new seasons and visitors pass through. In Gengenbach, the story of tradition and transformation quietly invites us to consider the shifting boundaries of home and memory wherever we are in the world. Zermatt, a quiet mountain sanctuary where the power and fragility of nature walk side by side. Nestled at the foot of the Matterhorn, Zermatt in the Valais region of Switzerland greets travelers with crisp alpine air, chalets dusted in snow, and the endless white silence of winter peaks, towering more than 14,000 feet, or about 4,300 meters, into a sky brushed with silver light. Centuries ago, this was just a cluster of remote farming villages, but the discovery of mountaineering transformed Zermatt into a gateway for pioneers seeking to conquer the legendary summit, while its car-free streets preserve both tradition and tranquility, even as modern life hums quietly in the background. Here, awe gives way to reflection as you watch clouds gather and dissolve against the sharp ridges, feeling small and connected all at once. Zermatt's story is one of contrasts, timeless landscapes shaped by both relentless change and enduring stillness. Perhaps every journey into the mountains is a step closer to understanding what endures and what must be left to the wind. Grindelwald, Here, the heart of Switzerland's alpine spirit reveals itself in a tapestry of rugged peaks and serene meadows. Framed by the jagged silhouettes of the Bernese Alps, this village in the Bernese Oberland region is wrapped in crisp mountain air and scattered wildflowers, its chalets nestled beneath the imposing presence of the Eiger's north face. As early as the 19th century, Grindelwald transformed from a remote farming settlement into a gateway for mountaineers and adventurers drawn to cliffs that soar more than 13,000 feet, or about 4,000 meters above sea level. There is a quiet awe here, a feeling that the ancient glaciers and green valleys hold secrets older than memory. The hushed peace of wooden cottages stands in gentle tension with the raw power of the surrounding mountains. In a place where nature's scale both humbles and inspires, the rhythms of Grindelwald invite us to consider our place amid landscapes that endure beyond a single lifetime. Kitzbühel. In every season, Kitzbühel is a meeting point of alpine tradition and gentle reinvention. At the heart of Tyrol, Austria, this medieval town spreads beneath bright peaks, its pastel houses glowing softly beside cobblestone streets, while the vast sweep of the Hahnenkamm mountain looms in the pale morning light. Once, a silver mining settlement from the 12th century, Kitzbühel transformed over centuries into one of Europe's most renowned ski resorts, famed for the Hahnenkamm downhill race, where skiers descend more than 2,800 feet, or about 850 meters, at breathtaking speeds. Yet beyond the thrill, a quieter rhythm pulls you in. Old church bells echo through frosty dawn, and families gather in wood-paneled cafes, remembering winters past. Here, centuries-old chalets stand beside modern boutiques, and serenity exists in sharp contrast to the rush of sport and festival. In a place shaped by both endurance and hospitality, Kitzbühel invites us to wonder how tradition and change can share the same winding path. Český Krumlov, a town where time seems to slow, inviting travelers to drift along winding cobbled streets lost in centuries past. Nestled in the gentle bend of the Vltava River in South Bohemia, Czech Republic, red-tiled roofs spill down toward mirror-like waters, overlooked by the pastel spires and towering castle that dominate the skyline. The origins of this fairy tale place date back to the 13th century, when the Rosenberg family began building their imposing fortress atop granite bluffs, and generations layered Renaissance, Baroque, and even Rococo details into the city's heart. Wandering its labyrinth of alleys, you sense the lingering presence of artists, tradespeople, and rulers whose hopes and fears echoed through these walls. Here, the celebration of beauty stands in quiet contrast to the hardships and sieges that once threatened this peaceful valley. In Český Krumlov, the past and present mingle freely, reminding us that the stories we inherit can shape the rhythm of our days wherever we find ourselves in the world. Chamonix. In the shadow of Mont Blanc, Chamonix is a crossroads where human ambition meets the immensity of the Alps. Crisp alpine air sweeps through this French valley, nestled in Haute-Savoie, as morning light paints jagged peaks and snowfields that stretch for more than 15,000 feet, or about 4,600 meters above the bustling village below. Once the site of the first Winter Olympics in 1924, Chamonix has quietly shaped the spirit of mountain exploration, drawing climbers, skiers, and dreamers for more than 2 centuries. Here, a sense of awe hushes even the most adventurous hearts, as serenity and exhilaration mingle in the thin air. The valley is at once a haven of stillness and a stage for thrilling extremes, where delicate flowers cling beside glaciers older than memory. In places like this, we sense how the world's wild edges call us not just to conquer, but to understand and belong. Cortina d'Ampezzo. In this alpine sanctuary, the meaning of grandeur is whispered by snow-dusted peaks and echoed by the silent hush of crisp mountain air. Nestled high in the Dolomites of northern Italy's Veneto region, the town's pastel facades, cobbled streets, and lively cafes stand in striking contrast to the saw-tooth limestone cliffs that tower more than 7,000 feet, or just over 2,100 meters above. Since hosting the Winter Olympics in 1956, Cortina has been woven into the fabric of sporting legend, yet its roots stretch deeper. Once a quiet shepherd's haven, shaped over centuries by laden traditions and shifting borders. You feel it in the blue-white quiet of dawn, when skiers are only distant silhouettes and the future seems to pause. Here, luxury walks beside simplicity. Designer boutiques flank centuries-old churches, while thrill-seekers and local artisans share the same sunlit squares. Cortina's blend of elegance and endurance hints at how human ambition finds its truest form at the edge of the wild, where the mountains quietly endure long after each visitor passes through. Rena, a quiet village poised on the edge of the Lofoten archipelago, Rena is a testament to nature's ability to shape human resilience and beauty alike. Painted red fishing cabins cling to rocky islets, their reflections drifting across the calm blue waters of northern Norway, while sharp granite peaks rise more than 2,000 feet, or about 600 meters, into the drifting Arctic mists. Settled since the 1700s, Reyne flourished as a trading post and safe harbor, enduring harsh winters and the relentless force of the North Atlantic, crafting a tradition of seafaring that still echoes through daily life. Here, serenity is colored by the scent of salt and the gentle rattle of dried cod in the wind, offering a sense of both profound peace and quiet perseverance. There is a gentle tension between isolation and belonging, between raw nature and the warmth of home fires, as if every light in a window whispers both solitude and welcome. Bergen, a city where nature and heritage quietly entwine. Bergen is North Sea salt on a storyteller's breeze. Narrow cobblestone lanes slope past wooden houses, painted ochre and red, all gathered between the fjords and misted mountains of Vestland in western Norway. Founded more than 9 centuries ago as a Hanseatic trading post, Bergen grew through the centuries as Norway's gateway to the world. Its old wharf, Bryggen, now standing as a UNESCO relic of merchant ambition and seafaring life. There's a gentle melancholy beneath the frequent rain, yet it is softened by an openness that welcomes both solitude and company, sea spray and sunlight. Even as ships glide in and out of the harbor, Bergen balances between ancient timber and youthful energy, tradition and reinvention. St. Moritz, a sanctuary of sparkling light and alpine stillness, St. Moritz captures the timeless allure of mountain living. Wrapped in the crisp air of Graubünden, Switzerland, its iced lakes reflect the sun with a glaze almost too bright for the eyes, while historic grand hotels perch against slopes dusted in white. Since the late 1800s, when the first winter tourists arrived by sleigh, St. Moritz has been a stage for both Olympic glory and quiet retreat, hosting the Winter Games twice and helping to shape the culture of luxury winter sports. Yet beneath the polished facade, a gentle peace lingers, inviting visitors to slow down and savor silence, broken only by the swish of skis or the call of crows. Here, luxury mingles with raw natural beauty, a place where rarefied society and untamed mountain air coexist. Perhaps in this blend of elegance and elemental wildness, we sense how landscapes can shape, calm, and challenge the human spirit across continents. Wengen. Perched quietly on a sunlit plateau, Wengen feels like a tranquil haven suspended between sky and alpine earth. Below the shadow of towering peaks, this car-free village in Switzerland's Bernese Oberland region is brushed by wildflower meadows and cloaked in mountain mist, with chalets rising gently above the valley and distant cowbells echoing through the crisp morning air. Established as a small farming settlement centuries ago, Wengen blossomed in the 19th century as a retreat for travelers seeking fresh air and restorative views, secured by its rack railway that ascends more than 4,000 feet, or roughly 1,200 meters from Lauterbrunnen below. There is a quietness here that feels intentional, a peacefulness preserved, where every sunrise seems to whisper the value of solitude and the poetry of high places. Yet this serenity stands in contrast to the distant roar of waterfalls and the steady pulse of seasonal visitors, blending seclusion with a soft invitation to belong. In places like Wengen, the world's hurried rhythm seems to pause, as if reminding us that beauty often waits where roads do not reach. Hall in Tyrol, a quiet crossroads where medieval ambition meets the gentle rhythms of Tyrolean life. Cobblestone lanes wind beneath pastel facades in this Austrian town just east of Innsbruck, their surfaces dappled with soft mountain light that filters through ancient linden trees. Once a center of European commerce, Hall's fortunes soared in the 1300s when its mint produced the first large silver coin known as the thaler, over 1.5 inches wide or about 4 centimeters, which would later inspire the word dollar. Today, echoes of that prosperous past seem to linger in the tranquil rhythm of daily life, balancing the weight of history with an air of quiet contentment. Here, the grandeur of towering mountains contrasts softly with the humble warmth of bakery windows and church bells. In the subtle harmony of old and new, Hall in Tyrol invites reflection on how each small place shapes the course of larger stories. Füssen, nestled at the edge of the Alps, Füssen is a living gateway between myth and memory. Its roots reach back to Roman times, serving as a resting point along the ancient Via Claudia Augusta, an imperial road that once stretched for more than 300 miles, or about 480 kilometers, connecting Italy to the northern heartlands. In Füssen, gentle echoes of pilgrims and emperors mingle with the joy of travelers, lingering over local music or a slice of apple strudel. Here, the quiet beauty of mountain solitude lives side by side with centuries of cultural crossroads, each step forward revealing reverence for both nature's serene permanence and the restless tide of human passage. Füssen is not just an end or beginning, but a soft threshold where the journey, like the river, ever flows onward. Eguisheim, a storybook village where time turns gently, Eguisheim invites visitors to step into a world shaped by centuries of tradition and quiet beauty. Winding lanes adorned with half-timbered houses bloom with cascades of geraniums, each corner in this Alsatian town, nestled amidst the vineyards of Grand Est, France, offering a tableau of soft colors and morning mist. Here, the legacy of wine stretches back nearly 1,000 years, with cellars carved below the cobblestones and a circular layout tracing the former medieval ramparts that has held firm since the days of the Merovingian kings. There's a sense of calm in Eguisheim, where footsteps echo quietly and smiles linger between neighbors, hinting at a deeper continuity beneath the surface of daily life. Rediscover, a village where time seems to hold its breath, preserving the quiet essence of Alsace's storied past. Cobblestone streets, lined with half-timbered houses in gentle hues, wind through this corner of Grand Est, France, as the scent of flowering vines mixes with the distant notes of local wine cellars. First mentioned in the 13th century, Rickever once stood as a vibrant trading center, its medieval walls rising over 100 feet, or about 30 meters, a silent testament to both prosperity and siege. Today, wandering beneath the shade of ancient towers, there's a sense of both comfort and longing, of life lived gently, yet mindful of old struggles. Mittenwald. In this alpine village, the spirit of music echoes between rugged peaks and painted facades. Strolling the cobblestone lanes of Mittenwald, nestled deep in Bavaria, Germany, one can sense cool mountain air filled with the scent of pine and the mellow resonance of violin strings drifting from centuries-old workshops. Since the late 1600s, Mittenwald has been famed as one of Europe's great centers of violin making, its craftsmen shaping wood and sound by hand, a tradition that once drew the admiration of composers across the continent. Standing amid the pastel murals and timbered roofs, it's easy to feel the gentle weight of both continuity and quiet innovation, as heritage and artistry intertwine with daily life.